MP Caines.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. You have your 20 minutes.
Thank you, and I won't need as much, Mr. Speaker. I want to touch on a few topics really briefly. Mr. Speaker, we have had a really energized couple of weeks with the CLGP. CLGP was an enterprise that a number of people supported and a number of people were lukewarm about. I think that it was a fantastic opportunity for us to highlight our sailing history and the fact that we have always been sailors and that there are many things that we do exceedingly well with reference to nautical matters, and CLGP was a beautiful opportunity. It was good for us all to see everybody back in the country and traveling, and tourists that have come from near and far to spend the time with us. It was good to see our taxi drivers and our restaurateurs all saying, listen, you know what, we're back in the trade. Mr. Speaker, as you know, I am the chairman of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, and the Tourism Authority has been working tirelessly to bring events such as the CLGP and the Clipper race, and next week we will see the races, yachts sail to Bermuda for races that will start in the Clipper race that's coming this summer. We are a country that is making our living in sailing, and oftentimes in Bermuda, we do not understand that we are the commodity, that Bermuda is a beautiful place. And we see that there is a challenge where people disagree with the TA, and what we are prone to do is to focus on that which is causing us the most disquiet instead of looking at what is the benefit that we all aim to gain by rallying together. Now, as the chairman, I've heard the concerns around the TA. The concerns have been lodged in the right places. But guess what, Mr. Speaker? Recently, I was on professional business and I went to Bahamas. They had rules and regulations with reference to my travel to Bahamas. It was actually interesting to get to Bahamas, to Jamaica, to see, have we forgotten that we have to have a COVID check to get into Canada and the United States of America? There are countries all through the Caribbean that have these forms. Yes, there are a few of them that have gotten rid of them, but in the main, there are countries in the Caribbean that have some form of border control mechanism. That is a form, that is a payment, that is insurance throughout the Caribbean. I have seen it and I've had to do it. Yes, last week when I came, I went abroad to California. I had to do a test the day before test to get to California. I had to do 2 days in advance to get clearance to get to California, and then I had to come back and get another test because I had to get a test the day before to go to America. I could have simply said, well, listen, I am not going to California because this is too inconvenient. I had to travel for business, so I had to make it happen. And so this is a part of the world that we're in at the moment. And until things regularize, we have a TA form. I've spoken to the Minister of Tourism. He has indicated that there is a plan to make the form more simplified. Simplify the form so more than one family member could use it at the same time, so it is a little more user-friendly. I think that is something that people are concerned about. The quickness. Will there be more people answering the phone? The minister said, we're going to get people answering at longer hours. They were going home at 8 or 9 o'clock at one point. Now they're working longer hours. So let's analyze what the problems were. Yes, people have been complaining of long telephone line waits. Well, let's deal with that. People have been complaining that it is too cumbersome to use the forms, and if you're a father, you've got to use the same form for your mom. Well, let's fix that. And we've been given indication that once this thing gets regularized, that the form is going to be made a lot more easy to manage. And that is something that I believe is a step in the right direction. We all wish that we can get rid of all the forms. I traveled last week, Mr. Minister. I've got my birth certificate. I've got my vaccine certificate. I've got every. They asked me everything when I was traveling last week, and I travel quite often for work. It is cumbersome. It is more expensive. But that is the world that we live in. And as Bermuda, we want to be a place that we say, listen, let's just eliminate it to make it easier for people to come to Bermuda. I'm going to give everybody a news flash. If you get rid of the form, we still have to make sure that we have the best product in the Caribbean. We still have to make sure that we're the most hospitable people in the Caribbean. We still have to make sure that our hotels, our rooms, our service, our behavior is the best in the Caribbean. The thing that I think we need to put the most emphasis on is making sure that when our visitors come to Bermuda, they have such a vibrant such a friendly, such an experience they can get nowhere else in the world, that is what they sell when they leave. Let us not focus, and this is what we're prone to do. Oh, the TA is why people are not coming. Let's look at where we are. When we travel, are we going to make sure that our entertainers, we're giving the best entertainment on island? Are we going to make sure that our hotel pricing is the fairest and people are getting the best room value per stay throughout the rest of the Caribbean? Those are the things that we have to make sure that are going to keep us number one and people coming back to Bermuda. Yes? So we all are getting caught up on, as we do with everything, the TA. The TA is what is topical now. Let's focus on making our product number one. Let's make sure that we encourage our young people to see tourism as a viable option. So they are not just carrying trays in the hotel, that they have the ability to go directly right up through the tourism trade. Yes? Let's look at tourism not only as a stopover when you're in trying to get through school, but you see it as a career. Let's look at our hotel offerings and let's start to make sure that we get all of our hotels that are empty, that are not being developed. Let's get the development. We see a renaissance and have the potential to have a renaissance with people, again, interested in Elbow Beach, with the hotels in the rest of the end of the island. We're seeing hotel development that's taking off. What we need to do is continue to nurture that, continue to speak the blessings and the beauty of our jurisdiction and allow people to say, I want to spend my vacation in Bermuda. We have a tourism authority that has a clear plan for the summer as we go closer to our emancipation celebration, which is Cup Match. We need to highlight that as we go up the hill into November. We go back to the PGA Championships, and we go to the Black Golf Weekend, and we go to all the things in the October, November. We see opportunities for people to come to Bermuda, and we want to continue to grow and grow and grow. We now know that the American Airlines flight is coming back for New York City quite soon. What does that mean? That means our friends on the East Coast are going to be able to start getting back on the plane. The future for tourism is starting to look better and better every day. And what we need to do as a country is not to cry about the hole in the donut and eat the donut. We have an opportunity to say, you know what?
Mr. Speaker.
Out of order?
Chairman.
Yes.
I'm not sure if the Honorable Minister perhaps misspoke, but he said the American Airlines New York flight was coming back on soon. I believe the Honorable Minister could confirm that it's not coming on until November. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know what soon means to him. This is a flight that had disappeared.
Well, during the tourism season might be good, Minister.
Well,
Both of your members is speaking as a member, not as a minister.
well, no, I just think that, and that is the spirit to which I speak. We are talking about the ability for us to see through what could only be political rancor and say that we have a plan, and as a country, we are starting to see green shoots for our tourism product coming back on its feet. I am saying, Mr. Speaker, that the TA is a form that we believe at this point to be necessary as a part of our public health practice in Bermuda. And we know that it is inconvenient to many, but we have to work through it. Mr. Speaker, to be clear for the learned member that there are times as a country where we're going to do things where everyone is not going to agree with, but let's not focus on the fact that we have a TA that some people don't like. Let's focus on the fact that we have a country that people love, that we have a product that is second to none. Let's make the product better. Let's get our kids involved. Let's get our people working again. And I believe that we can make the form better. I believe that we can make it more succinct. I can believe that we can make it where more people answering the phone. And because guess what, Mr. Speaker, we have gone to the agencies and we've asked, what are the problems? Rain, people are waiting on the phones too long. I can go back to the Minister of Tourism and say, listen, if you're not going to get rid of the forms, we have to get rid of the wait. My dad's got to fill out the form. My mom's got to fill out the form. My daughter's got to fill out the form. It's too much filling out the forms. Well, guess what they can say? Mr. Caines, we're going to put in an algorithm, and the algorithm's going to save the information. Because, Mr. Speaker, every time you go, you have to fill out the form every time. But we're going to put an algorithm in place, and it's going to save the information, and you're not going to have to fill it out every time. Okay, that's fine. If I'm a father, I got to fill it out there. My wife has to fill it out. My daughter has to fill it out. Let's make that all easier. And so all of the concerns, instead of saying, no, let's just get rid of it, we have said, listen, the ministry, the tourism authority has heard the concerns, have taken the concerns of the Hotel Association, have taken concerns of the Hotel Owners Association, have taken the concerns of the people that were here on the plane, and we said, listen, these are the concerns. We're not going to get rid of the form at this point. That is crystal clear. This is what we need to do to make it better. This is the lemonade. This is the lemonade. Because we want people to come to Bermuda, acknowledge that their concerns, the concerns are important, the concerns are valid. We're not going to dismiss these concerns. Let's take these concerns and say, this is how we rectify. And Minister, we believe, as Mr. Speaker, we believe that in the full heart of things, that we can have a country that our borders are safe, that if there's a revenue generating mechanism, that can be protected as well. But we need to make sure that we have this form to be as user friendly as possible. And Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to speak generally around tourism, that we believe tourism is on the rebound. We believe that there is a long-term plan for tourism in Bermuda, and we shared that in the throne speech reply, and we have a clear plan, and tourism is looking up. The hoteliers see the light at the end of the tunnel. We saw what that was. We're looking forward to the Clipper race that's coming up. This week we have another sailing event that's starting, the Spirit in Bermuda and the Newport to Bermuda. Everything is happening in the next couple of days. And we're looking at some really big things happening over the summer, with hoteliers saying, listen, things are starting to look up for the summer. And so after a really bleak period, it is good to know that we are starting to see the green shoots. If you're in the city of Hamilton on the weekends now, you see the life that is starting to come back to our country. And some of us thought that we wouldn't see it again. And now we're starting to see it. It is good news. We cannot let those that seek to be pundits of everything continue to give us gloom and doom. When it was time for that, we were sad. We were downtrodden. Now we see the green shoots, and we have to encourage our young people. There is work in the tourism industry. People are looking for people in the hotel industry. People are looking for work in the restaurant industry. How do you get? This is how you get involved. Yes. There is hope in our country. Tourism is a solid opportunity, and we have a good season coming forward. Do we have much more work to do? We have much work to do. Do we need to make sure that this TA form is regularized and at the appropriate time to get it, to do away with? Of course we should. It was never planned to be a long-term solution. But right now, we have to understand that as I travel through the world over the last few months, most countries have restrictions when you come in, including America, including Canada, including Jamaica, including Barbados, including the Bahamas that I visited. And we're no different. Protect our borders. We do that which is best for our people. But having said that, there is a way that we can do it and do it well and still make sure that we keep tourists and make sure that our tourism product is the best. And that's what I want to be the essence of my time speaking, Mr. Speaker. We need to make sure that our product is the best. We need to make sure that our Airbnbs are clean, that we're friendly, that we're kind, and so when people leave our Airbnbs and when they leave our hotels, that is what they're sharing when they go back. I went to Bermuda. Yes, I had this inconvenient form, but the people were so nice. The place that I stayed was so clean. We had so much to do when we went snorkeling, horseback riding, when we went out on these different experiences and we were riding around in the Twizzlers. You have to come to Bermuda. Those are the things that we need to push. In the long term, we know that we have hotels that are coming on board, and those are things that we look forward to 23, 24. I believe that our industry is going in the right direction. I have heard what my learned colleague has said, and it has merit. But again, let's continue to go forward and grow as a country. And today, I believe there is much to be proud of in tourism, and I believe, Mr. Speaker, there is a room to grow, and we shall do it together. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, MP. Does any other member wish to make a contribution at this time? Any other member?